back to Family Biz.
Family Biz.
All right, Zillow does not price your house.
That's true, but the market does.
It does. Okay, so I really just want to dive into this.
Let's do it.
Because I think so many consumers out there, and when I say consumers, I mean buyers. I mean even sellers. They go on Zillow and think that Zillow knows what their home is going to sell for. And then they all of a sudden think that they're a real estate professional.
Yeah, Zillow's kind of postured themselves as like the go-to, the Bible. You know, people think that, Zillow it has the ultimate answer, or in fact, all those internet sites, but they don't.
Yeah, and I think that one good point to bring up and an example is obviously luxury real estate beats to a different drum than the standard, everyday single family home or condo or whatever. But we have a luxury listing, and when I first went onto that luxury listing on Zillow, from just saying, okay, Zillow, what do you think that this home is worth? It said this home was worth $1 million.
Yeah, this is a great example, by the way.
The news flash is we had to kind of set the price, if you will, because there wasn't anything that has sold in that neighborhood because it's a older neighborhood. Like the only way you're getting out of that neighborhood is if you're gonna go see Jesus, kind of a deal, right? Because it's such a beautiful neighborhood with gorgeous water views and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So to find a comp when you're in luxury real estate, you are semi-setting the comp, and because you have to have that niche, which we've kind of built ourselves into that luxury market and that niche. But Zillow set $1 million for a home that's going for $1.3 million. So a $300,000 difference.
Yeah, imagine the impact that has on buyers going, oh man, I can get that for $1 million, and they're shocked when they see what the market price really is. And sellers too. They can be very disillusioned if you come in and say, well, Zillow says this,
Well, pricing it's not about guessing. It's truly about positioning, right?
Yeah.
So it's not about you have to position yourself appropriately.
Absolutely.
But the thing that we've talked about in the past is that Zillow doesn't get to go into your home and see that the home, and I'll use the example of our one luxury listing, that they don't get to go in and know that home in the last 50 years has been updated 4 or 5 different times. They don't know that there's radiant floor heat, right, in bathrooms and kitchens and things like that. They're just going square footage, amount of bedrooms, tax records, semi-location, let's give you a value. And so I think that's where we really got to tie in. It's so important to work with a real estate professional.
Yeah, somebody that knows the market, that will take the time, really, because it does take time. You can't just go, this is probably one, if not the biggest assets that we're dealing with.
Definitely the biggest asset. Yeah.
And it's worth taking the time and getting the proper information, because we don't really sell real estate. We're guides.
Right.
Right. We help people in that transaction. We guide them through. That's why we never guarantee what their house is going to sell for.
Right.
Because the market does.
Exactly.
Zillow doesn't. We don't. The market does.
But by being in this industry and working it day and night, it's not like we're a part-time agent. So it's not that we're just, this is a cousin or a family member or a distant friend that says, hey, I know you're a real estate license, but you work a different job. And we are in this every day. So you really need to find someone that is working this like a business.
Yeah. This season of business across the board, whether it's real estate or any other business, requires a very high level of guidance. It requires a high level of expertise and knowing what you're doing. It really does.
Well, the first 7 days on the market is the absolute most important when it comes to marketing.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the example of how we're doing business, but a lot of people out there, I think, a lot of realtors out there, I think, are missing the mark when it comes to marketing. They are losing out on a huge opportunity for a 4-weekend type open house. Thursday evening, right? A Friday broker tour and even a Friday open house and then
Yeah.
a Saturday and Sunday. So many agents go out there and just do a Saturday and Sunday open house. They're missing a huge niche of people. So many people have activities, especially if you have children and it's around soccer season, or I mean, you're just jumping from one activity to the next.
And don't forget to mention all the back end marketing, the pre-marketing
Right.
that goes into that, which is so beneficial because it helps take a temperature on what the market really is like.
Right.
And plus, you get a ton of interest. I kind of liken it to racehorses at the racetrack, and they're all ready to go. They're vibrating. They're just ready to charge out the gate, right? And like, wait a second, your house is how much? Your what's the price? We can't wait to get there. So that pre-marketing.
Priming the pump. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to prime it. Neighborhood plus area, and then obviously all of the marketing integrates with all these internet sites, so it's going to eventually go worldwide. But that couple of weeks pre-marketing, absolutely important.